And here we go. I'm already in my virtual environment for Django, and I'm already in a folder I'm going to create the assignment on. So let's go through the basic steps. Django admin, start project, and we're going to call this one dogs because that's what we're going to work with. Dogs. And that should have created that folder. Let's go into that. Make dir apps, cd apps, make our init.py so that Python knows it's a module. And now we gotta create the actual app. Start app, dog app. Okay, cd into that. I know we're going to need a urls.py file, so I might as well make that now. And we're going to need templates, so I'll go ahead and make that. I'll go ahead and go into templates, create the folder that's named after the app, because that's just how you do it in Django. Then go into that. And I know I'm going to have index.html, so I'll just go ahead and create it now. Back up, where am I? Templates, back up again. And okay, I'm still in apps, so I'm going to create a static file folder too. Go into that, that's going to be for my CSS, so cd static. Make there another folder called dog app. And inside that, make our CSS folder. And I'm not going to bother with JavaScript and image folders because we're not going to use any of that, and I don't need to waste my time doing that right now. Alright, where am I? I'm inside apps. Okay, so I think I got everything I need there. Let's go ahead and open it up in Sublime. That's an old one. Let's just get a new window. And where is it? Dogs. There we go. Okay, so first, go into my settings file, go ahead and add apps.dogapp, and that comma, save that, close, because we're done there, urls.py, add include, because we're going to need that, then here, create the route, include apps.dogapp.urls. And I think that's everything. I'm just going to copy this to use as a template. Saved and closed. So that should all be good. Now we go into our dog app. Go into this urls.py file. Paste this. We don't need that. We don't need include, but this is where we're going to route to our views file, so we need to import that from the current directory. And our URLs are going to change, so actually we'll go, I will just create a basic one for index, and we'll go to views.index. And let me just create that index method in here so we don't get an error when we start the server. Really? Pass and request. We'll leave pass for now, so just so that we just want it there so we don't get an error. Okay. If I went through it, I think I just got everything I need to start the project based on the checklist I gave you guys. Except now we're bringing in models, so before I even bother migrating or starting the server, I'm just going to go ahead and create a model. So we go into our models.py file, and part of it is already up here. So this is where OOP comes into play, because we're going to create a class. And since we're working with dogs, we're going to call it, oh, we don't need all that stuff though. We're going to call it dog. And since this is going to be a model, unfortunately we do not have an ERD, no SQL workbench, so no fancy things to draw. It's all going to be in here. So if I remember right, from that models that we're importing, we need to bring in the model method, which will create it, add our colon, and this is where we create the fields that we want to save. So let's just give our dog a name, and from models, we're going to call it, we got to give it a data type. The data type lives inside this models from here. So this one is just going to be car field, if I remember right. Hopefully I do. And then you pass it, you can pass some different defaults to it, or the validations. Like in this case, we'll say like car field max length equals, just do 45 since it's a number that everybody's familiar with. What else should we give our dog? Breed models car field max length equals, we'll just do 45 too. Alright, let's all give them that, and then let's do our created app. And this is a date time field. And now with this one, we're going to pass a special one called auto now add equals true. And I'll tell you about that here once I get the updated at done. This is going to be models date time field auto now equals true. Okay, what this auto now add does, it's a default, so it's saying whenever we create instance or insert into database these things, the created at, it will add in the current time. The extra add part means it will only do this the first time we create it, whereas an updated at, because just auto now, it's gonna, anytime we save anything in it, when we create it, we update it, anytime, it's always going to populate this field with the current time. And that should be it, hopefully. Okay, now that we've got this model set up, we can migrate and start our server. So to do that, let's go back to our terminal. Let's clear that up. Alright, so this is where, this was not in my checklist, but if you got to the parts with sessions, you have been doing this. But instead of doing it right away, this basically takes what you write into models and builds it and actually creates it. So you normally don't want to migrate till you build this model, but if you migrate and you need to make changes to your model, it's really easy with Django. You pretty much just do these, you just make your change in the file and do these commands again. Super easy, I love it. It's a lot easier than even Rails for making, well, actually a lot easier than Rails. So, what was it? Python, wait, am I in the right directory? No, I am not. Let me back up. Oh, wait, no, cd dot dot. We gotta go back to where our manage.py file lives. Python manage.py make migrations, I think. That's it. So you can see it says migrations for dog app, create model dog. And that's based off of what we put in the models file. So now we do Python manage.py migrate. And here we go. If you got to the sessions, this is the line where it applies to sessions, and here's where it creates that model. So everything's done there.
What's important to note about what happened here, you know how you normally write the create table, whatever, and you have to like make the diagram, forward engineer, and all that stuff? What it just did was it went and it looked at your models.py file, it found all the models in there, and it automatically created that create table statement for you, and then it ran it. So a lot of things just happened that before were tedious things that you had to remember to do. So even though this is a bit of a different process, it's still solving the same problem.
Okay. So let's run our server. All right, it's running. And before I pull that up, let me just go ahead and just add something in here so we know it's working. And let's pull up Chrome. Just open up a new window. Oops. Oh, error. Okay. Oh, that's because I created the index, defined index, but I did not actually do anything with it. So let's just go in here really quick. Return render, pass in a request object, and we're going to render, what is it? Inside templates, dog app, index.html. And let's try that again. Okay, so we're good and running now. All right, so now let's add some data and do some things. Let's go to our index.html. And let's just go ahead and create a form to add dogs. So form action. We'll send this to, we'll just say create. Method post. And let's create our forms for name, input type text, name field, just go with name. Okay. For this one's going to be for breed. Actually, we could just do a select option drop down, but that's too much work. So we'll be able to call our own breeds. Make up our own. All right, name, breed. All right, so we got 2 inputs. Add our submit button. Oops. Oh, and let's not forget now, with Django, any form that we have, we need to pass in the CSRF token. And that's to prevent cross-site request scripting or something like that. Anyway, prevent some kind of hacking. People from hacking your session. Okay. And then let's do this. When we load up our index, and actually I'm just going to build out my HTML really quick. So I'm just going to put out this stuff into a table. So let me just build this up really quick, and we'll do, first one will be dog name. Wait, why did I do that? We'll put dog name, and then breed. And just so we could see our times, let's go with, let's just throw it in there. Created at, updated at, and then we're going to create a special one for actions because we're going to do some updating and deleting and all kinds of stuff. All right. Oops, tbody. All right. And when we load up this page, we're going to get all the data from our database once we have it, and we're going to display it in here. So let's just create the loop. So we're going to pass everything in context. So for I in, just call them, so for dog and dogs, and I'll just end that now so I don't forget. So what do we want to do for each one? For dog and dogs, we'll go td. First one is what? The name. So dog.name. td dog.breed td dog.created@, and these obviously have to match the keys that we've created. Dog.updated. Actually, I'm going to modify this a little bit here in a minute. And our actions, I'm going to basically make a link to edit and to delete. So we'll use a tags here, and we'll just create our link. It's going to go to, let's go edit, and we're going to have to pass in the ID of the dog so we know which one we're editing, something like that. All right. And this is ugly, but that's all right. And one to delete, so delete dog.id.
Do we need a table row?
We do, you're right. Good catch. I missed that up here too. I knew I was missing something in my table. So tap that over to move the stuff up, or well, on the Mac it was Command Control up arrow. Command Control up or down arrow will move whatever's selected up or down. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the same on Macs or PCs. Okay. And let's just go ahead and give our table a border of 1 so it's easier to see. Here, update this. Okay, here's our form and there's our table. Ugly? I don't care about CSS. I can't add it if you want me to, though. No. Okay. Do you know how to link to your CSS file? Everybody knows that? Okay, so I don't have to go through that. All right. Okay, so first let's do our, since we're going to load this up first, so we're going to need this info. Even though we know right now there's nothing in database, let's do the query for that. Now, what we're working with here, it's an ORM, Object Relational Mapper. Basically, all those SQL stuff you've learned, like the insert into, select all, it does all that, but it basically creates easier to use names so you don't have to spell out that entire thing. So in this case, we're going to say dogs equal, oh wait, I almost forgot, because we have to import, because this has to connect to our database. So from models, which is this models file where we created the actual dog class, we need to actually import dog. Because now here, we're going to go dogs equal dog dot objects. This is an odd thing you have to add into Django's ORM, so just get used to it, and you'll learn more about this in the platform. And what is get all? Dog.objects.all. So basically this .all, literally in the background, just does select star from dog. And then what we're going to...
Those of you that hated writing queries should love this.
Yeah. And we're going to go ahead and create our context. Actually, I don't need all that. I'll just do dogs, that's the name of it, and equal to, so this is the name I'm giving it, and this refers to this. So whatever this brings back will be the value for this dogs. And then that way, when we load this up, we'll pass in context. Hopefully that all still works. Okay, no errors, we're good. But no data, because we haven't made any yet. Okay, so let's make the data for our form. And let me see, what was the action for the form? just create. Okay. So we need to add a route for when we go to the create URL. And that's going to be regex. That's nothing. And here will be the word create, $, saying it's followed by, you can't be followed by anything. And we're going to do a create method in views. So let's go in here, def create, pass in the request object, because we just have to. When we're done with creating, I already know we're going to basically redirect back to index. So I'll add that right now. And since we're redirecting, that means I need to add it up here. Okay. So let's just make sure we're getting the data we need. So let's just print request.post and oh, you're right. Good catch. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So let's go in here. Spot. I don't know what kind of. Oh, that's a terrier. There we go. Create. Okay, no errors. It did some. Let's check our terminal, see what it said. So it did do a post request. That's when we entered into the create, and then it did the get. That's from where our redirect. And here's our request.post. So there's our CSRF token. Here's our breed and spot. So awesome. Form is working. Let's do something with that info. All right. So what we want to do, we want, see if I remember this, dog, sorry, having a little brain fart here. So dog.name equals request.post name. Now here you actually have to spell out each field that you're adding. Dog.breed equals request.post breed. And dog equals, wait, no. Okay, since I'm tripping up here really quick, let's do this. Let's check out our documentation. I actually have this up already. By the way, the Django documentation, when we were creating the fields, that's all in here. All your different fields you can use, like email field, text field, all that stuff. Queries, create. Okay, we did the import. Dog equals this stuff. Okay, yeah. Oh, so I did miss it a little bit. So actually, dog equals dog name equals request dot post name breed equals request dot post breed. So this is actually back to those OOP assignments you had. So we created our dog class, and so we're setting this variable dog equal to an instance of dog class, passing in the name and the breed to fill out those fields. And then we just say dog.save. And this .save in the background will create insert into dogs values fields, all that, your SQL query. Just so much easier. So let's see if this works now. Server's still running. Moment of truth. Spot, terrier, create, boom. There it is. Part of it. We got our name, our breed, created, updated. Where's my actions at?
I don't think you ever added that in.
Yeah, you didn't finish those.
Oh, I didn't finish it? Oh, because I didn't actually write the words. Edit. and delete. So let's take a look now. Oh, I missed something up on my edits. It's not a link. Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. That's why. All right, just add another one. Odie, and I have no idea what kind of dog he is. Cartoon dog. Okay, so that part's working. So we're going to go through the basic CRUD thing here. So create, we just did create. This is the read part, so we're getting and showing. So let's do update next, which will be the edit. So what we're going to do, what we want to do when we hit the edit button, we're going to want to go to a different form and populate that with the information we have already.
Can I pause and ask something?
Yes. Sure.
Okay, so going back to, I think it's in models. No, it was in views, I think. Yeah, so this dog equals, so we are calling on the method there? Or?
Yeah, this dog. So this dog refers to this,
Okay.
which is imported from here.
Okay.
So this is where we create our object, our blueprint for the object. And then dog, and then passing in the parameters, this is creating an instance, and we're naming that instance dog.
Okay.
So for the moment, this instant only exists right here and won't be in a database until we do the .save.
Okay, and when it's saving back to the models area.
It actually saves it into the database, which is connected through here, which is connected through this database, and all the way back to the database.
Okay.
So, all right. So first, edit. Where are we going with edit? We're going edit to dog ID. So let's create the route for that. URL r caret, and we're expecting edit. And let's see if I can remember this. Question mark P. What?
Less than?
Yep, this is going to be what we call it, which is ID. And then backslash. This is going to be digits because they're integers. And we can have any number of integers depending how many dogs we put in our database. And that's it for there. And then end it so we don't allow anything else. And quote. Hopefully that's right. And then we'll send that to views.edit. Okay, so if we hit the edit button, it goes to this route. This goes to views.edit. Let's go ahead and do that here. Define edit. Pass in request object. And we also have to pass in ID now because we are going to get this from our route parameters. And what do we want to do? We want to retrieve that one dog. So let's say dog equals dog.objects.get. The .get is similar to .all. It's getting I think it's getting specified on a parameter. I'm not sure if it does it return just one. I'm not sure, 100% sure on that. But .get makes sense because you're getting something, and you're getting something based on its ID. And the ID equals this ID up here. And then what we're going to do is create context equals dog. Okay, let's see if I'm doing this right. And we have to create a edit file here. So we are going to render pass in request. And so I think we are going to need to create this HTML file dog/apps/edit.html and give it context. So this will render that. Let us create. Oops, wrong thing. Never mind. Oh, there we go. New file. Edit.html. Save. All right. So what we want to do, really, create another form. Action, we'll say this one is going to go to update, and we have to pass in the ID again. Dog.id. Since we just have one single row of info, we should just say we don't have to loop through anything here. Oh, and method post. Okay. Set in our CSRF token. And let's just do for name, input type text. This is the name field. And we're going to go ahead and give this a value. And the value, we're going to give it the dog name. And the reason we're going to do this is, actually, let me just do placeholder. That way we can see what it is. If we were to just only update the breed and didn't put a value here of what the dog's name is, when we go to update it, it will overwrite the name with blank, which we don't want to do. So if we don't want to change the name, you at least need the original in here so in the background later, it's actually going to update the name, but it's going to update it with whatever it already is. So it looks like it doesn't touch it. All right, so that's for the name. And, oh wait, go ahead and add that right there. And now let's add it for breed.
This is 4 equal.
With labels, there we go. Actually, I will show you because it hopefully is still working and not broken. Okay, good. The label for, if this 4 has to match the ID of the input tag, and whatever input ID it matches, it basically links the label to that. And what that allows you to do is, if you click on the word breed, oh, it's not doing. Oh, but you know what? Because I didn't have it added in there. So hold on. I forgot. I knew I forgot something in my input tags right here. Name, ID, breed. Okay. So now if you click on breed, notice it focuses on that input.
So the 4 and the ID have to match.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it helps with CSS to align your form. You can just do display block on your labels and it'll make it better. But that's the reason for the 4 attribute. So just UX stuff, really. Okay. Where we edit. Okay, breed. Input type text. This is for breed. And we're going to do the same thing. Value equals dog.breed. Give it a placeholder so we can actually see it. And our submit button. Submit. Value. Update. And okay, hopefully this part works so far. So let's edit Odie. Boom. Okay, good. So that works. Notice that these are just placeholders. Oh, I got an extra thing there. I'm not worried about that right now. All right, if we hit the update button right now, it's going to give us an error because I haven't created that route yet. But I'm trying to follow along the flow of data here. So, all right, when we click the update button, it's going to go to update/dog ID. So now let's add that into our route. update question mark P ID backslash, it's still a digit, end it, quote. All right, and this is going to go to views.update. All right, so that routes to there. Now we go into our views. Let's create our update method. Also have to pass in a request object and the ID from the route parameters. And what we're going to do here, let's see if I remember. Okay, so dog, let's see if I remember. So dog.name. So what we do is we actually, kind of like when we created, it's going to be really similar. With Django, there's not an update method. You just have to rename that object. So request.post. Actually, I think I may be a little bit off here again. So let me just check the docs. Where's my other one? There it is. Creating, retrieving. Oh, I'm gonna go. Update. Okay. Changes, refinding. Okay, yeah, looks like I was on the right track there. All right, so dog.name, request.post name, dog.breed, request.post breed, and then we just do dog.save again.
Chris, I'm curious, would you have to retrieve the dog object first and then set those values?
Yes, you are right. I knew there was something I was missing. Thank you. So dog equals dog dot. I kind of, when I was doing dog, I'm like, what's this referring to? And I was thinking that, and I missed that part. So first, let's get that dog. Dog equals dog. So okay, now we've set this to something. So dot name of that equals something. Dog dot save. And this time we're just going to redirect back to the index file. So as soon as we update, it just goes back. Hopefully this works. Okay. Odie, let's edit. What'd you say? Cartoon Hound. Update. Cartoon Hound. And then notice our created at and updated at. So created at stayed exactly the same. So because it was auto underscore now underscore add. And then this one actually changed just now. Now it's going off UTC time zones, so times will be off. If you want to figure out time zones and all that, have fun. They are a pain. Anyway, okay, so what's left? Delete. So let's go to index.html. We created the button. Where does that go? Delete / dog ID. So now let's create the route for that. And caret, delete, passing in the ID again. It's also a digit, any number of, and quote, views.destroy. Okay, so go to views. Let's create our destroy method. Pass in request, ID, and okay, let's see if I can remember this. I believe it's just dog.objects.delete ID equals ID. So we're saying, okay, go into the dog model, delete where the ID equals delete. Yeah, I just said what I typed. Okay. Once we're done with that, we're not getting any info back. Don't need to do anything. So we're just going to return redirect back to index. And if my syntax is right, this will work now. Let's delete Odie because he's not a real dog. Oh, no. Okay. So let's go back to docs. Oh, wait, I'm already on there. And delete. Where are they? Let's start up here. Clearly that's not it. That's not it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so actually I was a little bit off. Looks like we actually have to get the object first, then just delete it. So let's do what we did in every other one. Dog equals dog.objects.get ID equals ID. And dog.delete. Let's try this again. Update. Delete Odie. Bam, he's gone.
Oh, you just put that dog down.
And what's left?
Animal killer.
Oh, so should this button say euthanize instead? All right, any questions?